Hi, in this video we're going to take a look at the database connection. In particular, we're going to connect to a Postgres database. Mine is hosted in neon.tech, and you can see I've got a Neon database, and I'm going to use this employees to table, and it has first name, last name, email, gender, job title, state, city. And we are going to insert some rows into that. And in order to connect to the database, I'm going to come up here to the project dashboard. I can see the version of Postgres they're using is 15. I'm going to click on the connection button here, and I am going to, I've made sure I've selected Java from the list here. And my connection string goes all the way up to and includes the database. So I'll copy that. And I'm going to need that when I configure my integration. So let's come into our project. Let's create a test integration. Hello database. And let's put a scheduler on there so we can run use the test button. I'll put a 60-second timer on that, and let's connect to, let's insert data into the database. So we need our database component, and I will select an insert, and now we need both a connection and a plug. So plug is a new concept in this video series. So we need a connection, and since the database connection is dynamic, we're going to use a plug to define the operations we perform, like an insert or select, etc. So let's click the add button for connection, and let's make a Postgres database connection. And we're going to select the database type. You can see all the databases that are supported, and I'll select Postgres. And you can see here for the connection URL, we give you a hint on what each one looks like. So for, I also need the version 15.x. So for the connection URL, I will paste in the connection string that we got from the dashboard here. And then what I need is my username, and I can see here the username is leor.brenman. So let me enter that. And then we need the password. And I will enter my password. And we're done. I can click update. And then let's do a quick test here. And that worked. All right, so let's close our connection. Let's click refresh. And let's select the Postgres connection from our current project. So now we need this thing called a plug. We don't have one, so let's add. So this is a Postgres employee to insert. Okay. And this is the interface for creating a plug. And we basically click the configure button, select the data plane, shared. So now I have to select my connection again for this plug, and I got to select the actions. So these are all the actions we can perform on a database. I want to do an insert. I have to select my schema. It was in the public schema, if you recall. Yep. And these are all the tables, right? So these are the tables that I've got in my public schema for the Neon database. And I want employee 2. And now we'll introspect all the fields, and I'll take all, I don't need the ID because that's auto-generated. So that's that, and let me click generate. And this is my SQL command for what I'm trying to do. And we can click save. All right, so the plug was created correctly. Click refresh. And let's select that plug. So now what you see is the insert, and notice that I can insert multiple rows at a time. And what I want to do here, since I don't have any data, let me just set the value Lior Brenman. We don't need the rest of that. I'll click save, and I guess the output here, we can take a look at that. I'll get a success as well as a response, and I'll find out how many rows were inserted. That's the response I'll get. So let me save that. And now what we can do is we can test our integration. So if our integration works, I would expect one row with 2 columns to be inserted. So I click the test button. It automatically brings me into the monitor. Give that a second to retrieve the data from the data plane. Okay, so it's done. I retrieved the logs from the data plane. And if I look at that insert, let's take a look and see if it was successful. And one row was inserted. And if I come here and click refresh, I can see one row was inserted. So in this video, we saw how to create a database connection and also a plug for inserting records into the database, and we used it in a test integration. Thank you.